Good evening, guys, and happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, I do not have a Tony's and Caputo's haul for you guys today because we didn't end up going. Honestly, I feel like for some reason to my dad especially, but also me, like, I don't want to go on Fridays. Like, I'm like, you know, again, if we have to go, okay, we'll go on Friday. But every single time so far, the last 3 weekends or whatever it's been, my dad's like, it's too cold out, or it's snowing, or like today he was just like, yeah, I don't really feel like going. So I was like, okay, then how about we just try and move it so that, like, if we went to Meijer like on Wednesday or even on Tuesday to Meijer, and then we can go to Tony's and Caputo's on Thursday, I would be fine with that. And then too, it works out the fine, like, for when football season starts up again and Friday nights are football games. Like, that would be a lot better. So like, that's kind of what I'm thinking anyway. And I don't remember exactly how we did it during football. I think we did that, or else we would go on Saturday, Sunday, but then we tried to move it so that we were going on Friday again, so that we would take up that time, you know, and we could, you know, like, have our weekends more free. But then it was like, we weren't, you know, we were still going on Saturday anyway. So like I said, I think that we're planning on possibly changing it, just because I'd like to have Saturday free to be able to go, you know, and also to potentially moving Aldi and Jewel to Saturday. And then that would work better also too, because sometimes we need our Sundays free as well. So anyways, like I said, that is kind of what we're looking at. That's why today we didn't end up going, but we are, like I said, should be going there tomorrow, so I will share with you guys the haul from those two stores tomorrow. But for today, as far as getting any more editing and uploading done, I didn't really get to that. I did end up getting to some laundry, and that was kind of it. Dishes actually were pretty much taken care of, or like caught up with, and so I didn't really have to worry about that. However, one of the big things that we got done, because we've got to get a plumber into our laundry room, so one of the big things that we got done today, which I was very happy about, was we got, you guys have obviously seen my grocery hauls where I've been buying laundry detergent whenever I find it on sale. So we have a pretty decent supply of laundry detergent, which is not really fitting in our laundry room quite well anymore. So we ended up getting all of that moved into the crawl space, because our crawl space is not like completely temperature controlled, but it's never going to get below freezing because the pipe's down there. So even again too, when we had, you know, those what's it called, those winter freezes, like it was even earlier this winter, but like it was a couple of winters ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. I want to say it was like maybe the year before the pandemic, or like 2 years, something like that, where it was colder here than it was in Antarctica for like a day or two. And like, but like that whole, like, there was a couple day period where it was just freezing cold. It was like -50 something. I don't even know. It was something crazy. Like with wind chill and all that kind of stuff. It was like that. I know one particular day it was colder here than it was in Antarctica. Like, that was the big story. They had to like burn the railroad tracks and stuff like that, like light them on fire, because they were like freezing, and there was problems with the actual like train things or something like that, like the train like wheels, because on the railroad tracks and all this kind of stuff. It was a pretty like crazy thing to see about, you know, again, like having to maintain things in like that cold of weather. So anyways, even during that time, our crawl space never got below freezing, you know, where stuff is going to end up, you know, again, freezing and then having to thaw again. It'd get really cold, but again too, we wouldn't have to worry about laundry detergent or anything like that. Like, if we kept it out in the garage where it's not temperature controlled, we could wind up having to worry about that kind of stuff, like a freeze and thaw, and, you know, then expanding, and then possible explosion of, you know, the laundry detergent all over the place, because, you know, the packaging has ended up, you know, getting ruined in the bottles and stuff like that because of that expanding and, you know, contracting and all that kind of stuff from the you know, freezing temperatures. So anyways, because of that though, we do keep some of our excess stuff in our crawl space. We don't live in a huge house, so we don't have a ton of space to store things for people, and especially too, like I said, when we have as many people as we have living here. And then also too, because I do wind up buying in bulk whenever I get sales on stuff, you know, that kind of thing, we need to get a little creative with some of our storing. So our crawl space is really not used for anything. I think there's a couple of really old paint cans down there. Other than that, there's nothing down there, so it makes sense to store some of our excess body wash, some other type of like personal care products, laundry detergent, that kind of stuff in our crawl space, and we have easier access to it. It's not, again, the easiest thing to access, but it's not, you know, the most difficult thing. It's kind of like the same thing as storing things in your attic. It's just we store them in our crawl space too. So anyways, though, our laundry detergents that was in the laundry room, we had a ton of it, and I was, you know, getting to the point where I had to start leaving some stuff on the floor because I couldn't find. Normally we leave it all underneath our slop tub, and so that's why I got it back too, so that we just are storing the stuff just, you know, like immediate kind of use, so that we have like a good at least couple week, maybe a couple months supply up here that we don't have to go down into the crawl space for. But then after that, you know, all of that other excess stuff we're keeping in the crawl space. So what my dad ended up doing, because our crawl space is not like finished or anything like that, it is just ground down there, we ended up getting like a couple planks of wood so that we could kind of stack this stuff on there, so it wasn't like all tipping over and falling all over the place and that kind of stuff, because it's not even super level down there. I mean, it's decent, but it's not, we don't have, it's not like massive mounds in the crawl space either. It's kind of level for the most part, but it is kind of rocky and ground like down there. So like I was saying, one of the things that we needed to do is just keep it so they were kind of level. So my dad got a couple planks of wood, and we just stored them on top of there, and we have a couple of bins, like I was saying, of stuff that we also have stored down there as well. So, we ended up doing with that today, though, we ended up getting all that moved. So I took everything out of the laundry room, went through, figured out like what I had multiples of. A lot of it was the Purex laundry detergent. I'm sure you guys have seen. I got lots of sales on that stuff, and the Downy fabric softener. So a lot of that was excess. I ended up putting that down in the crawl space. So it was a handful of bottles. It wasn't a crazy amount, but we ended up getting all of that moved today. So that was kind of our big project. And honestly, too, we were kind of almost not even getting that taken care of. But then I was like, I made dinner. I ended up doing like the cornbread, like corn dog casserole kind of stuff. It's literally just cornbread and you just throw hot dogs in it. I was just gonna go with that because I had some of that left in the pantry, and I had some hot dogs that I was like getting close to wanting to use some of these up, and we're not using them because we're not grilling right now. So I was like, I just might as well go ahead and find a creative way to use those up. So I went ahead and just did that for dinner. And so I ended up doing that though, but well, it took about 20 minutes to make. So in that 20-minute time, I got all the laundry, you know, detergent, all that kind of stuff, moved out of the laundry room, all the stuff rearranged, and then figured out what I was putting down in the crawl space. Then I took dinner out of the oven. Then it took us maybe about another like 15 or so minutes just to get the stuff, 20 minutes maybe, down into the crawl space. And then ended up, you know, we were done moving all this stuff afterwards. So, and honestly, in total, it took us like less than an hour, I feel like, to get all this stuff kind of just done and taken care of. My dad only needed just to go, he just went into the crawl space, and then I was just handing him the stuff and he was just putting it in there. So that was literally all like we pretty much ended up doing. Most of the stuff, like I said, I kind of handled that as far as like getting this stuff moved from the laundry room, and then went through it, sorted through it, figured out what I still wanted to keep up here, what I wanted to put down there, and then ended up, like I said, after that I just asked my dad, can you go downstairs, put that stuff in there, and then he just went down there and I handed him the stuff, and then he just, like I said, got those planks of wood, we put them down there, and like I said, it was like a less than an hour project in total. But now it makes a big difference because now there's only a couple bottles that we need to move out of the laundry room if we end up getting a plumber to come in, instead of multiple bottles of stuff that I'm like, you know, like this is gonna be ridiculous trying to move all this stuff around and everything. So like I said, I'm happy that all of that is done and taken care of now, and we don't have to worry about that so much. You know, like I said, that's kind of one of the things that's checked off the list. So anyways, like I said, we ended up getting all of that stuff done and taken care of for today, which again wasn't a huge big project. It didn't take too much time, which was nice, but it was one of those things where it's like, I want to get that done, I want to get it taken care of, but it's just like, you know, kind of another daunting task kind of thing. So again, I was like, well, you know what, I'm standing around, like I was telling you guys too, I got the dishes pretty much done. I didn't really have any dishes to do anyway, so I was like, normally that's what I'm doing when I'm making dinner, like I'm cleaning stuff up, and I was done with that already. So I was like, okay, what do I do now? I was like, you know what, this isn't gonna be too hard, and I can, again too, just kind of be near the kitchen so I can hear when the timer is going off to take this stuff out, and check it to see if it's done. And I was like, I can just get moving on this. So it was just really fast. I was already in the vicinity where I was probably gonna be anyway, and you know, it's just one of those things where I was like, I got this done pretty quick. It was the same thing too with cleaning out underneath our what's it called, the underneath our sink. We did pretty much the same thing too, and I think honestly that maybe took us an hour or two at most that one day when we ended up doing it. Like, it was not that difficult. It was just a matter of like getting the stuff out, figure out what we have excess of, store that stuff in the crawl space too. We have a bin of our cleaning supplies down there, excess stuff, and then all the other things that we have up here is what we use kind of more on a daily basis. And then the excess stuff is stuff that we have like multiples of, like multiple like window cleaners, or you know, like that kind of stuff. Dish soaps, you know, like those kind of things we'll have multiple of, that again I buy whenever we get sales on them, so I'm sometimes buying a lot. And sometimes too it'll be like I haven't gotten a deal on like dish soap in a while, so like we're going through it, but then again I might get a period of time where it's like several months I get a ton of it. So that's why it's like kind of, you just gotta like kind of watch the sales and stuff like that, and that's what I'm kind of doing. And so that's why, you know, we can get really close to running out, and then all of a sudden we'll get a bunch of sales on that stuff again. It was kind of the same way with the laundry detergent. Like, I wasn't getting hardly any sales on laundry detergent, and then all of a sudden now, over the last like couple months at least, I've gotten lots of sales on laundry detergent. So now it's like we're stocking up, but I don't want to get to that point where it's like I can't find anything on sale again, and then we're going like multiple months without laundry detergent. So I'll go ahead and stock up. If we have to store it in the crawl space for a while, we can, and then again too, bring up some of that stuff that we wind up, you know, going through. So anyways though, that was, like I said, our big kind of project that we got done today, which was nice because it was Friday. Normally we don't get a whole ton of stuff done on Friday, so it was good to have that taken care of. But again too, I didn't get to a whole ton of other things today, so I was at least happy to say like I got that done. Like, that got done and taken care of. I don't have to worry about that. Even too, because we didn't go to the grocery store, I was like, okay, so let me figure out how I can kind of at least use my time a little bit better, and be somewhat productive. And like I said too, I just ended up getting that stuff done, and I was like, okay, now we, you know, don't have to worry about getting that done in a later time. And it doesn't have to be something like, oh well, you know, we're gonna take a whole Saturday to do it because it took me 1 hour, you know. So you know, whereas, you know, I might have been like, that's probably gonna take a whole Saturday to do, and then realize, oh, it actually didn't, you know, it only took an hour. What are we supposed to do with the rest of our time? Instead I was like, let me just kind of move on this, you know, get started with this at least and see how long it's taken. If it's taken too long, I can obviously just throw it back in the laundry room. But it was really quick. I just got the stuff all handled, and like I said, it was all good and all done. And you know, again, now we're moving on to the next thing that we can do tomorrow. So anyways guys, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog, though with Tony's and Caputo's haul should be tomorrow. So I'll see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see y'all very soon, Faces tomorrow. So bye guys.